welcome back to ESL Pro League Season 5 Finals. Mousesports facing off a back-to-back doubleheader against the North American teams. They've already taken down Optic. Up next now is going to be Team Liquid. Will they have what it takes? This Liquid team is probably the most promising. We've seen them look in quite some time. And the big guy you got to talk about within this roster is Stan coming over, being the in-game leader, finally providing some leadership, some kind of structure that he can bring into the squad, trying to lead them forward. And at the moment, I mean, one of the big things is he's one of the in-game leaders that we've talked about, has the ability to have individual impact as well.
Yeah, no, he definitely was. I think we saw it more so in Optic. I don't think he's quite got to the spot where, you know, Liquid as a team is just fleshed out enough to the point where he can contribute in that fashion. He still has to worry about what the four others are doing in any given time, but that will come with time because individually we know that he can perform better than what he has up to this point. So I just think, you know, that's just something that we'll have to wait. That's going to be a strength that's yet to come for Liquid.
Yeah, and we'll get their roster up on the screen just in case you guys weren't tuning in yesterday. Maybe some new viewers out there don't know who these guys are. This is, I guess you could call them the pride of North America at the moment, if that
I guess they're all North American again now, right? They had a while there with a couple of Europeans.
Yeah, they had a few of the guys.
But you know, ever since Stan joined replacing Hiko, he kind of took two roles, in-game leader and the lurker role. And I agree, you know, he seemed more effective at that lurker role in Optic than he does here. One of the interesting things with the playstyle that I've seen from Liquid so far is it seemed very pack roll-ish, right? They're doing a lot of 4-1 stuff, especially on Nuke, with like 4 guys pushing around towards heaven and
that pace as well.
And under as well, doing a very similar thing. And just something else to talk about is it seems like, well, it looked like they'd built moves to help JDM get picks, like that boost they did outside on the red crate, so he could peek over that little wall to pick the C-tier player was quite nice. I like that. I hope we see more of that. And I think JDM has been the best player for them at this event so far. So those are two positive factors. I'm just interested to see like this veto. I know we're still a way away from it, but if they get on a map that's like not very AWPer friendly, like an Inferno or something like that, then JDM's not going to have as much of an impact, so someone else needs to step up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting because I know that's always been a big problem for Liquid is integrating the AWPers, and one of the things I always talk with Zeus about, their coach, is his working on very much trying to find ways to get JDM involved, to have him have an impact. And I mean, I just want to lead that into the Mousesports discussion because one thing that we haven't ever really touched on with Mousesports is their coach. Now, how much responsibility are we giving to this Mousesports team? You know, we thought they were just done after Nico left. Like, and LMBT has them playing very, very well at the moment. They obviously have a lot of skill, but we're also liking what they're looking like tactically as well.
Yeah, honestly, it's hard to tell, obviously, because LMBT has been there. He was there.
He's been around the block as well.
Yeah, he's been around the block, but he was also there when Nico was in the team, right?
Right.
And we saw very different Mousesports. I'm not sure if the changes is something that he has suggested, that's something that he's put in place or not. Obviously, that's impossible for us to know, or if just Chris J is some sort of prodigy when it comes to in-game leading and just hasn't figured it out yet, or didn't know until now.
Right.
But yeah, obviously, I think it's very helpful, at least for a player who's having to make that transition that Chris J has to do, to have someone so experienced as LMBT, because he's been around since God knows how long. And like, it's about as long as you. So
excellent.
Yeah,
wow. I know, unbelievable.
So, you know,
Fossils, really.
No, I mean, yeah. So no, he's been around, and obviously that's going to be extremely helpful because he's seen everything that is to be seen within CS. So you kind of have some framework, and you have someone to bounce IDs back off, which is always helpful.
Yeah, we're about ready to get this match started. We're going to bring you the vetoes very, very shortly, but just in the meantime, make sure you get your voices heard. Bring up that YouTube vote. Get Mousesports in the chat if you think they're going to win. Team Liquid, if you're an American fan, root for the North American squad. And yeah, map's going to be coming up next, Chad. Where do you kind of see this one going towards?
No, the North American pride of Keisha is definitely a big chance for this one. And Mousesports don't mind that one. If they can get to, okay,
there's a respect man.
Right, they didn't like that. And it's an Inferno, the one where I said, you know, JDM won't have as much of an impact. I think this map can be really good for Mouse because of how versatile their players are. And I consider Oscar like a combat AWPer, so he's one who's not afraid to get in the close angles and take fights with the AWP, be a little bit more aggressive and overextend. So that's going to be exciting to look out for. Initially, I just think this is like better for Mouse. I just have that feeling. I don't know why.
Even despite, well, I mean, you mentioned it. You think Oscar's like a little bit more comfortable with the close-up battles, but having almost 2 AWPers, you could say, Chris J and Oscar on a map like Inferno, you think they're going to be all right on this one?
I think they're going to be fine. I don't think they necessarily want to go to double ops, you know, necessarily, unless they're in a really comfortable spot where they just feel they can just pound on or pile on Team Liquid. Otherwise, I don't really see any potential for it because, yeah, it's such an awkward map for ops as is that I think you need to just give Oscar whatever space he can have instead of just having to bump into other operators and being extremely static. Because we also have to take into consideration to the fact that on the CT side, you need to be very mobile in that sense. You need to have rotations on point. Otherwise, you're going to get locked down and basically split apart way too easily. And that's obviously something that Team Liquid would probably be able to recognize very early on if Mousesports decide to go towards that double op setup multiple times.
Map like this, if it's not going to lean towards the oppers, is this going to be something where we see the entry fraggers, someone like Nitro, someone like Elige, these guys who are coming in kind of on that front line? If Liquid wants to win, do they have to have the early success in these bomb site takes?
Yeah, this is where when you have your executes going on to bomb sites, your entry fraggers need to know exactly what they need to be looking out for and have faith in the other player coming behind them. But that's just something which hopefully they've dry run a lot.
Yeah, and okay, well, that's all there is to say about that one.
Oh,
did you have a little bit more?
I got the hand signals wrong.
Yeah, no. It's
I
all
thought
right.
you said come to daddy.
We'll get this straight out.
You said keep it going.
No, I did say come to daddy, but we'll get that straight out in the break. Either way, it's going to be Blue and Days. They're going to take you away on Inferno.
All right, thank you very much, Moses. Inferno will be the map of choice here for the next Mousesports game. They're going to be taking on Team Liquid here now. Team Liquid kind of having a little bit of a back-and-forth performance yesterday, but overall kind of uninspiring based on how we thought they were going to do coming into it, especially against like bigger European teams. They kind of got flatlined by Navi, who overall is also not doing very well at this event.
Yeah, you know, I don't know about Inferno with Liquid. I don't think they're the best Inferno team. They don't play it as often as their other maps. You know, I think it's like maybe like their 4th most preferred map or something like that. Having said that, I haven't yet to see Mousesports on Inferno. This is going to be my first time seeing them on Inferno. Having watched Liquid a little bit on it, you know, a pretty decent amount during the regular season though, I'm not like overly impressed or anything like that. I do like how Nitro plays the B site though, especially when they get aggressive. I think he does a really good job over there. But not sure what to expect from Mousesports here. They usually like, you know, playing like a Cobbler or Cash or something like that.
It definitely shows that that you know that now that Team Liquid's willing to go up against another European team, it just shows the confidence that NA players are willing to just hop right into Inferno now, and how quickly the region has adapted the map. We saw that over the course of the season, actually, about how maybe like some players were going to be avoiding it and whatnot for the first couple weeks, but I mean, most of the teams, almost every team in the North American circuit, just jumped right into it as soon as it was put into the pool in week 2.
Yeah, I do kind of disagree though with Vendetta a bit. I actually do like double ops on Inferno on CD side. Reason being is that it makes the Ts have to use utility at like every check. Like to take mid control, you can never just smoke off a side and just peek or anything. You have to use utility, right? Like when you play against G2 on this map, you know, Kenny has op porch or something like that, or op arch, and then Shocks will be off in B, and just both sides of the map, just constant flashbang, smokes, Molotovs. You have to do so much just to get any type of map control.
Well, we are going live now with the pistol, and of course the players are playing on Intel Core i7 processors. So let's jump into it now, as Mousesports are going to throw themselves into the fire over here on the B-bomb site, even getting isolated by a smoke. That's going to cause some problems for sure, as they need to get themselves past this so the whole team can play together. But still, Liquid just ripping them apart right now, and most of this pressure is coming from Twist. He'll finally go down, but then Nitro fires right back with the elimination of Lowell, leaving just Oscar alive, still behind the smoke right here at the car setup spot. He did catch the flank from Stanislaw, so I'm sure he's going to be paying attention to that as he attempts to clutch this out in the 1v4, but now trying to sneak his way back into the site. He's got to play this oh so carefully, but any mistake is going to lead to his death at this point, and there's just so many ways for him to make that mistake. So he decides to pick up the bomb.
Yeah, and Stanislaw left watching the flank. So, I mean, if he wanted to, he could just run towards A and plant.
And that may very well be what he does. He obviously is going to take himself slowly over towards the crossroads and whatnot to examine this, but I think Liquid have caught on to it now. They started to send a few players back on Banana. They're going to see this in a second, and Stan should be going into the site, but at the moment he's still sticking over here at Arches, which may give Oscar the room he needs to at the very least get a plant, which in this situation is a huge thing to get away with. Moving in, even he doesn't believe the site is this open. Goes for the safest possible position. Bomb's going down on the ground, and there you have it. The third round buy has now been enabled for Mousesports, where previously they had no room getting this. He'll still go down without much of a fight, but still, that's a huge gain of what was otherwise just a completely shut down pistol round from Liquid.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody's spotting the bomb. Stan leaves the flank to just... I mean, you're giving up a plant, uncontested plant, when, you know, obviously that should just never happen. But on the bright side for Liquid, Twist getting those 2 nice shots. He needs that. He has not been playing well this tournament so far. Definitely underperforming, especially in his role. Like, his role, especially, you know, on T side, just being like that hard lurker and whatnot, he should always be putting up decent numbers, right? He should always be putting up, and he's been consistently pretty negative so far. So they need him to step it up.
I mean, even on his like social media stuff yesterday, if you check that out, he didn't really seem too happy with the way he performed yesterday, and like just I think I might be misquoting this slightly, but I remember him saying something like almost like he said like I got carried by the team today or something like that. I don't remember the exact phrasing, but But yeah, definitely not feeling too confident. So we have to hope that that attitude didn't get carried over into today, and he was able to get a reset last night for today's matches, as today is the day where they could find themselves eliminated if they don't get things together. But the second round, Mousesports, just as expected now with that plant, just going for the full save, so they're going to take it nice and slow here. Probably just posting up in mid for a few extra seconds, and then just trying to rush onto one of the two sites in hopes of getting that second plant. But without any utility investment or anything, 9 times out of 10, this is going to be very easily shut down by the CTs. And they do decide to take it up the route through Banana. So Nitro, along with Elise, are going to be waiting here to try and isolate this, and the smoke just immediately tossed in by Nitro, so that'll send Mousesports swinging the other way as they head back up through mid now to try and make a bid for the A site in this direction. Group those players up, and very quickly a game of Mousetrap is being played here by Liquid as they try to funnel them into one area of the map. Perfect flashbang comes in. It does also hit Stanislaw, but he's able to hinder the hit for like 5 extra seconds, and Stan gets a double kill in the process. Lowell sneaks in 1 kill in the way of things here, but at the end of the day, I think Stan actually ends up with the ace. Yeah, he does. He gets a nice ace there and survives the round with just 1 HP.
So good start for him. Not only that, gets a ton of money. All kills, all 5.
Yeah, all on the UMP, so he ends up with a nice little bonus off of that round, of course. But now is when things will get interesting, because now is when that third round buy does roll into the picture that Mousesports were really able to steal away from Liquid back on the pistol round, and they'll have their immediately first chance to contest Team Liquid right here, right now. As they do spread out, though, and playing to a default to start off this round. Not going to be trying anything crazy just yet. Just playing across the map, and of course trying to delay and get the usual clear out into the hulls as they will attempt to set up for their take. In the meantime, Liquid's taking very aggressive control of Banana. You have that deep smoke moving in, the boost up over the half wall, which Elise is going to check for. So that's going to isolate most of the pressure from Banana for right now. And if they're able to hold that for the second smoke application, then we could very likely see the fourth player rotate over to A and have the extra man hold off there.
Yeah, a nice bit of map control coming out from Liquid, but the problem is they have no smokes now, right? So, and they still have 2 towards B. So if they do go towards A, it's not going to do too much.
JDM trying to take first battle, and so does Stanislaw, but both are actually going to end up falling. Twist with a nice trade, and Elise also picking up a 3rd kill, keeps this even, down to a 2v2, especially with Elise getting aggressive out here. The only problem is now they have to try and weigh this out properly and pinch over towards A as the bomb is going to go down. Nitro has a great spot through the mid-choke point, but Elise still has a bit of a long walk up there, so they're going to have to waste another about 10 to 15 seconds to get everyone into position. Maybe even longer if Elise does not want to give himself away too early. But Nitro wants to start this off on his own, so he is going to start to sort of just creep in. Rops is waiting back on the graveyard steps there, and Nitro's checking out, seeming to think that he already knows he's there. And in fact, Elise did just spot him, but the problem is Rops also spotted him, so he's not only going to pick up the kill onto Elise, but he also finds Nitro at the end of it. With a headshot, will pop him right out of the round and give Mousesports their first.
Just huge, huge round by Rops. 2v2, 20 HP, already got the 2 kills to get the bomb down, plants the bomb. Of course, picks the perfect spot to go. Smokes off Moto, able to walk into Graveyard to pick up those last 2 frags. And you saw the timing that he used, right? So he waited. He waited for Nitro to kind of just be out in the open, having to wait for him. Just that extra second that he waited makes, allows him to get that frag. But Liquid, this is good by them. If they can take B control like this, and they're not going to contest it, if you're Mousesports, you need to take it every single round. Every single round they should be doing this. Like this is a possible way to leverage round victories, definitely.
So Elijah is going to be able to take advantage upon that one as he'll push forward into the left side cubby. The second smoke application is moved in now. Nitro is looking to respond to that blind fire from Oscar. However, no rotate to be seen just yet to add the extra man. And it's definitely seeming like Mouse may want to try and contest on Banana a little bit here still, as they're kind of just gravitating towards mid and throwing a few grenades in towards the choke point. Probably going to throw a little bit of pressure at it. But we've yet to see if they're going to fully execute upon this. You normally don't realize that until late into the round, but we're going to start seeing that now as we do go down to the 50-second mark. So it's a good thing they didn't rotate Nitro or Elige for that matter off the site, but the thing is Elige alone here just gets dominated by Chris, and Dennis also picks up the kill into Nitro as they're attempting to fall back. B site is wide open for the taking right now, and the remaining CTs in their attempts to rotate may just find themselves dead as Lowell's still waiting up here in the long haul. He does get actually spotted. So the CTs, as they realize what's going on, they're going to have really no choice but to sit in that site and look to save, as Mousesports with just those 2 kills clear out an open site for them, and it gives Team Liquid just no room to respond to it at all. Lowell's still trying to pick off a few of these players as well. Perfect angle, and Twist walks right into the trap as it snaps its jaws shut. That will eliminate Twist. Stanislaw and JDM are in much safer positions, however, and they're not moving out to aggressively try and kill anyone on the T side. So they should be good to stay alive heading into the next round. But those are going to be the only 2 saves, and after just dropping the last one, there's not really going to be room to reinvest for the other 3, especially with all 5 staying alive currently for Mousesports. JDM getting out there too. Finally able to drop 1 player. He gets a nice little upgrade for himself from the ump. He'll end up with an AK instead, but small victory, which won't really mean much going into this next round.
I mean, Liquid had the exact setup they wanted. You know, Nitro's a car. He took contact. He even did damage to Chris. But Chris just peeks the corner at Logs, destroys Elige. I don't even know if Elige got a bullet off. And Nitro immediately traded afterwards. But, I mean, that is the setup you want. You want the guy taking contact around car or the wall. And then a guy close who should almost always get that first kill. Just Chris J just mans up. I mean, that's not a kill you're supposed to get, you know?
Yeah.
And he just destroys Elige.
So obviously, with the lack of just general purchases coming out from Liquid here, they're not going to be able to hold that aggressive control on Banana any longer. They did put one of their rifles on it, though, but it's only for the short amount of time. Stanislaw fully rotating off, so they've gone for just a straight-up gamble towards A. And with Chris J and Oscar already starting to move up and investigate, if they just head onto the site, once again, they'll see that it's open, and that'll be the end of the round. We may end up with a round having no one die upon it, as at the moment, Liquid going for this 5-man stack. The gamble on it is really not going to pay off, as Mousesports are getting ready to walk their way onto B. And again, with the Liquid, still no signs of movement over there, so that's pretty much how things are going to play out here. Mousesports walk in, still using utility for obvious reasons if they were set up here, but it's going to end up not really being needed, and the last players from Liquid are going to end up moving into positions maybe to exit a little bit here, but it's not even seeming like that. For the most part, it's looking like they're focusing a lot more on, at least for the guys with rifles, they're focusing a lot more on self-preservation than actually doing any real damage here, as everybody just kind of stacks up in mid, and the blob will end up moving down. Stan's able to get 1 kill as he moves himself out towards CT a little bit more, and Oscar is going to have quite a few battles to take, which he can't win any of them at all. This is getting a little bit dangerous here now. Still, no one from Liquid is even going to think about moving in for the actual retake, though, but at the very least, they're doing decent damage and definitely trying to keep the money low on Mousesports here as they think into the future, and specifically this next round coming up where they more than likely are going to end up investing again.
Yeah, but Mousesports picked right again. I mean, on Cobble, they picked right every single anti-eco, and now they're picking right again.
Yeah. Both the rifles actually do make it out of the round, however, for Liquid, and they even get themselves a 3rd one, so they end up saving quite a bit of cash going into this next gun round for them, as they're going to be able to avoid that full reinvestment across their players. The risk in the last round just doesn't pay off, and with that, Mousesports have now been able to take the lead away from Team Liquid, leading us into this 3-2 scoreline. However, Liquid back into the fray. They've got their chance to tie it up once again. The next buy rolling in. Mousesports, in terms of their opening play, just going to send players straight up the T-steps and into the halls. Chris J also finding himself in a little mini battle here versus JDM, as JDM does hear all the noise. Those footsteps going through the halls, though. He's able to pick the head off of Rups right at the start, taking him out of the picture. And now bringing them down to a 5v4, promptly smoking off the long haul too. They've read into this one, and they're going to try their best to delay this, but still no full rotates on the way just yet, but they're very close. There's the first drop of another player from Mouse as they attempt to try and push their way into this site. At the moment, nothing going great for Mousesports. JDM, despite the fact that he got advanced intel onto the push from Lowell, misses the shot, so it lets him move up. Chris J only getting away with 1 kill though, and now Twist also taking down Lowell. Everything's down on Oscar in a 1v4, and he's completely isolated into this corner in a second. Nitro is going to push up from mid and have him completely flanked back out. This flashbang as well, he has to dodge it. Go back into mid, where Nitro is finally going to pounce, taking down Oscar and tying us again with Team Liquid getting their 3rd round.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do on Inferno as a CT opper. A lot of it's not even necessarily about making it 4v5 every round, but it's about showing that presence, right? And opping everything in different spots so that they're always just worried about an opper being in halls, maybe even aggro halls, like, you know, JW style, or opping B, or opping down middle, or opping into low mid crack, or opping in boiler like that. Just, you always want to have that threat.
Chris J ends up in a very awkward spot at the beginning of the 7th round, though. Trying to push his way up quickly past the half wall and gets naded, runs into a molly, and is completely blinded. So Liquid are going to get themselves a nice free kill to start things off, and they'll promptly, with that 5v4 advantage, back up to the B site and just go into a more normal setup here. Someone's boosted up on top of Flower Box, and a second man sitting just below him to assist when that CT smoke does broil in a few seconds here. However, Oscar getting a little bit of a peek on the Nitro is able to trade that back, bringing us into another 4v4, and that is going to launch the hit. Great flashbang against the Liege. They try to hit him again, but this one misses. However, he whips big time on his initial spray, and in the name of keeping himself alive, he has to give up on that position and just wrap back around over to the church. For everyone else on Liquid, though, they do move into this site pretty quickly. Mousesports is only going to get things secured now and start to put the bomb onto the ground, so Liquid will have all the time in the world to attempt to go for this retake here. But at the same time, Mousesports, using the last of their smoke only just now, has re-secured CT, so that's really not going to be an angle that they'll be able to push back in on unless they want to wait the full duration of the smoke. Mousesports fully set up, and Liquid finally starting to wrap back around over here in the garden. Not a whole lot of aggressive pressure towards the garden, and with the CT zone smoke, they are able to knock 2 players out of this fight temporarily. Big play coming out from Dennis, though, as he takes a risk, and he almost eliminates 2 of their own players, but now back and forth the kills are going to go. Dennis hoping to impact, but gets distracted and looks the wrong way. Stanislaw going to be able to eliminate him, and Twist with these big pickups here. The remaining T's try to brute force through the smoke, but it doesn't work out, and Twist, with just barely enough time, is going to defuse that bomb and give the round to Liquid.
Yeah, Twist just manning up, getting those 2 frags. Both players coming through smoke. Good counter smoke by Liquid on that retake. I believe it's 2 smokes, actually. No, maybe it's just 1. But yeah, Twist just covering while Stan's defusing. And again, man, he kind of needed to step it up from yesterday, and he's doing just that right now. 8 kills, 4 deaths. Stanislaw at 9-1, but remember he did have that ace against the Glocks.
Yep. With those 2 victories, Liquid have successfully broken the Mousesports, so as you can see, they're going to be on a pretty minimalist buy for the 8th round here. Just Tech 9s, Deagles, and a P250 sitting on Chris J. They'll take it nice and slow here as they just hold around the crossroads, waiting to see if they can get any opportunities to pick up a nice headshot on a curious player from Team Liquid. But Liquid are also holding pretty passively in this round. The most aggressive position they actually have is Nitro over on Banana at the half wall, and even that's a relatively safe spot. So they'll just wait and see where Mousesports try to throw this towards, and take it as it swings, with JDM already picking up the first kill there. He actually does re-peek a little bit too aggressively, and that's where Dennis is going to be able to find a trade and an op, more importantly. But now comes the real trouble. How do we actually get this up to the site? Stanislaw sitting up for another kill here, finds Dennis. He actually does have to move his position around quite a bit, but Twist is there to assist when needed. He picks up yet another frag, leaving only 2 alive, both of which are just going to get bulldozed now. Oscar, actually a nice shot to respond to the push from Elige, but now Nitro's waiting for him right behind the pole. There you go. There's the shutdown on the round. Liquid now to 5.
Yeah, and Mousesports, you know, they look a lot better when they're, you know, taking it more slowly. The last 2 rounds, they kind of tried to brute force it, right? Chris J went through that smoke, or the Molotov and died. The round that they tried to do that A-take through halls and whatnot, JDM was able to make it 4v5 there. So having a little bit of issues, Mousesports is when it just comes to kind of taking map control. And then obviously the 4v4 retake as well. So Liquid up 5-3. They're in a good spot here. Pretty decent money on their side as well.
But once again, Mousesports with the buy back in play. They are just going to try to go straight in for Hall's control here. They actually may go for quicker boiler control because of this boost that JDM did, but unfortunately it backfires because they take far too long to try and go out of boiler. Although JDM, even though he picked up that first kill, he gets straight out a few seconds later by Rups, so they still are able to make it work pretty decently for them. Now the remaining 4 will get ready to push on the A. The thing is, though, is that with this kill happening so advanced into the A bomb site, is that it is going to call out for the 3rd player to rotate in earlier, so there's some hesitation from Mousesports in terms of if they actually want to go for this, or if they want to possibly play this back and then try to swing it over towards B, who now only has 1 player defending it. It's going to be Nitro, who's even out pretty far too, so they can take him down. And there we go, site's open. He did just spot a player creeping back in that direction, but for the time being, he's not going to call for any assistance just yet. Elige is a little bit itchy on that rotate, though, and you can see him starting to shift back in the other direction. Good thing, too, is this is definitely where Mousesports is going to end up committing towards with 45 seconds remaining. Molly is still in play, however, so they're able to delay the hit even longer, and I think that's actually going to kill the B play. Mousesports a little bit indecisive with the way they try to swing towards these sites. This happened, I think, on their first eco round earlier on in the map, too. Going to end up being forced into an A play, but this also works out because Liquid fully bit on this rotate, so at the moment they only have 1 in the site. It's going to come down to Stan to defend things here, and he's out of position originally, still able to pick up 1 kill though before going down to Oscar. Now the guys from Mousesports have control, but it's still an even battle. Loa with a big flank though, eliminating Twist. That's the big pickup. That is probably going to propel them into a huge advantage now for this post plant, as Liege and Nitro will attempt to rotate in, but there's no room at all to trade on the Lowell currently. They'll have to wait until they can get into Boiler, and now the Halls, as Lowell's backing up even further to be able to properly fight against him and try to bring it down to a 2v2, and they're getting low on time. They have no utility to retake with, so it is looking like both of them are going to end up giving up on this, and they'll fall back out towards mid. They may be able to pick up a few exit kills, but Mousesports will be getting the round, going 4-5.
Yeah, I mean, again, it does start out in Liquid's favor. You know, JDM makes it 4v5. He gives it back up by re-peeking, though, and Robs hits a nice shot on him. As Nitro trying to get exits. Goes down to Lowell. He's able to pick that one up, though. So only surviving with the one gun. They're going to have a decent buy here, though. Should be able to full buy with one drop and maybe another drop from Stan.
Yeah, they both had like 6 and 8K, so they have that extra money. So we're going to end up with a full buy here, more than likely. Yeah, there we go. There's one up in play on Nitro that ends up in the fray there, but that's because they go for the bigger buy on the up for JDM instead of just giving him a rifle for this round. Mousesports, though, still going to have Oscar equipped with their own up as they play into this one and look to tie it. And while they're immediately going to find an advantage, JDM just going for a super wide peek at mid. Oscar does get chunked by a grenade down to 63 HP, but that's going to matter very little. With the elimination of JDM, twists one up with the op into his hands. They're able to pick that gun back up in mid. And actually, Stanislaw takes the position of his now fallen teammate, trying to watch for additional mid choke pressure if Mousesports once again try to breach through here and get themselves into the site. That seems to be the case, too, with everyone stacking up here, preparing to toss in smokes. Liquid going for a bit of a heavy bite, as they'll just keep Nitro over to defend B. It's a good call, actually, with the way that Mousesports are playing this. So once again, properly reading into the situation. And Twist now impacting with his first pickup here. Nice push from Stanislaw as he gets the double. Support from Liege coming in from the other end. Oscar so far only able to trade the kill into Liege. He has Lowell in the pit, which is going to be a big help to him. But I think smokes are covering this off right now, so he really can't get much done. Twist in a battle with Oscar. Can't hit the shot. He's now low and now eliminated by Oscar. And Lowell also wins out in his battle against Stanislaw. Suddenly the tables have turned and Mousesports have the advantage here, with Nitro looking to clutch in a 1v2. But he's got a molly, 2 flashbangs, and now an M4 to try and play with. So this is definitely winnable for him if he plays it properly. Just going to try to go for this slow lurk around the porch over here. And the molly used in the wrong spot. Not going to get Lowell into the open. But of course, he still confirms that there's not a player standing there. That jump, though, is going to be able to give him away as he just goes through the flashbangs. He's going to make an attempt at this one. Both flashes hit against Oscar. He has that kill, but he doesn't want to commit to it. And with that, Oscar's given the time to recover, pick up the last shot, ends up with a 4K on the round, and now ties us up with Mousesports at 5.
Oscar's just a man. Just stood there, flash, just did not care at all. Oh, man, Stan had such a nice play. I mean, I know the replay caught those 2 kills, but the flashbang that he threw on that retake was so perfectly timed and just an awesome pop flash. But at the end of the day, it's 2v3. Oscar comes up middle, just wins all the individual battles, and then you put this guy in a post-plant situation, and he just comes through every time, seemingly.
Yep. And now Liquid back down in the dumps with their own buy this time. They are just going to be on 1 P250 and everyone else working with defaults, so expect this to be pretty much a walkover round for Mousesports. Look at this. We even have this going on right now with Dennis just trying to chase down one player in CT. He has actually trapped himself as a result of it, and we'll just get that 1 kill on Stan before Liege swings in from his right side to trade him back out. Dennis having a little bit too much fun, and he ends up giving himself away.
They picked right again, Blue.
They did?
How do they always know?
I don't know, man.
Going back to Cobble, this is like 5 or 6 times where they just pick right.
Yep. It's been literally every single time.
But it's not like they're even sending a scouter usually. I mean, they kind of did that round where he was in CT spawn, but they're just sending like all 5 players somewhere and nobody is there except for like maybe 1 player. Every single anti-eco.
I don't know.
They're just geniuses.
That are just really, really
Is
lucky.
Chris J the greatest caller of all time? I mean,
who knows? That's one for the history books to decide. As Chris J does move in, picks up the last kill, and Mousesports will now take the lead. But it's off of a minimal investment round from Team Liquid, so an easy round for them to pick up there. Now Team Liquid goes back into the buy, of course, and it's going to be their chance to resist and possibly tie it up again. We could have ourselves a match just like the last one with Optic, where things are pretty much back-to-back for most of the half, and no one's really able to cut ahead, even to the very end of it. Things ended like 8-7 in that last match there, but you can see it's a little bit more streaky in this game, with players just winning 3 rounds, seemingly back-to-back-to-back now. So if we follow that logic, this would be the round that Team Liquid would win. But of course, that could very much go the other way. How Mousesports has been able to play these last few rounds. Fast haul control is going to be taken from Mousesports this time, though, as they do just swing in really quickly to get that in. Rops as well finds a very aggressive twist, trying to push into the long haul, and eliminates him right at the start of this round.
So yeah, that's 2 gun rounds in a row. That's been 4v5. Oscar picking off JDM, and then that round where obviously Twist just kills Rops right off the bat. So early on, it was Liquid making it 4v5, getting that early on advantage. And now look at them, just a full A stack, completely giving up B. And what's Mousesports doing?
Again.
What's Mousesports doing?
This is actually crazy.
Yeah. No, it is. It's crazy.
Because it's not only like these random gamble stacks that Liquid are doing on eco rounds. It's actually like when they do this too, when they over rotate into sites. They've done this is like the second time they've done this on the gun round now. So this is pretty insane that they're able to continue reading into this. They're gonna end up back at the car and Lowell even able to hold for a 1-to-1 when he gets double pushed. That's gonna cause them to read into this play now and finally start to rotate, but it's too late. Nitro's now got the CT smoke in his way. Can't spot anything on the site. He probably doesn't even want to give himself away here either.
Oscar's just like, why do I have the bomb? You guys know who I am, bro.
He's just gonna
just plant the bomb for me and I win the round. Like, have you guys not been playing with me for this whole event?
Stan on the boost up, unfortunately doesn't work out well for him, and now Rops coming in on this flank just absolutely dominates Team Liquid. Stan and Nitro down on the ground. JDM can't get anything going, and he'll be taken out by Dennis. So there we go. Mousesports finally getting themselves a bit of an advantage to work with, and Liquid promptly going to call for a pause.
How dare you guys give Oscar the bomb? Like, what are you thinking there?
I need these kills.
Yeah, like Oscar is gonna win you the round if you get the bomb down. It's just how the game works. Why does he have the bomb?
A lapse of judgment.
It's funny, like he didn't even cross. He just stood there. Like Spawn was smoked. He was just, guys, like, are you kidding me right now?
Do I really have to tell you about this?
Do I have to plant the bomb as well as kill everybody afterwards? Come on. I do that all the time too. Like if I'm like, especially if I play like matchmaking or something, I'm just like, plant the bomb, plant the bomb. I never plant the bomb. That's Oscar when he plays. He's just like, yeah, it's the same thing as matchmaking.
I want you guys to take care of this for me. I'll just kill everyone for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Except he does it against like pro players. I'm doing it against the XX 420 sniper.
Yeah.
You know.
Phase, whatever.
Yeah.
People fresh off the COD boat. Well, now we do go back in the next round here. Unfortunately, Team Liquid is once again going to find themselves with a pretty lackluster investment. Just CZs and 5.7s are the best buys they have, with only 2 being able to invest into armor and only 2 smokes for the entire team, both of which have just been used, just as the usual fend off here. Liege is in a pretty good spot, though, if they try to rush up past half wall right now. Oh, he sees the foot. Oh, he ends up legging him, though. That was weird. Oscar not going to get the full kill there. And Liege will just barely survive, even though he made that crucial mistake of letting his foot get spotted. Rest of the team is going to start to push upon this as once again Mousesports make the right call about their situation here. There's a 4-man stack over on A. They've already legged the player, the one player sitting on B, who actually once again also has not called for any additional support. And Mousesports is just going to take this nice and slow, lurking up to the site. They'll let Liege make the mistake of peeking into him. And basically, we'll bring this down to the very last second before Liege is able to actually get any of that intel out. Molly going to send him into the open. 1 HP. It's an easy kill for Chris J to get. Although Nitro, sneaking back in, actually is able to get a trade onto Lowell there. Dennis, however, not trying to battle that out against Twist and pretty much just deny any attempt from Liquid to do anything about this, which is basically going to be the way that this plays out regardless. Nitro, already having retrieved the M4, wants nothing to do with this fight. He's sitting back trying to save, as Mousesports is going to be able to push themselves forward to the 8th round.
But what do? They pick right again.
What?
What?
Okay, so Twitch just gets his triple kill, so all of a sudden, the round is actually possible for Liquid to win out of nowhere. Oscar is alone, and he gets completely overwhelmed. So Twist, out of absolutely nowhere, clutches out that round for Team Liquid, and he's got the time to defuse this bomb as well. So there you have it. 6-7 for Team Liquid on just a half buy with only 2 players investing into armor.
Are you kidding me?
That... Let's see this again from his perspective. 2 of them stack up, and then the 3rd kill is what's the one that's most impressive. Instantly gets the headshot, all in 1 clip as well. And then he gets that fourth one so beautifully as his teammate distracts Oscar from the other side.
All right, that was insane by Twist, but what are you doing, Mousesports? What are you doing?
I feel like at a certain degree you have to chalk that one up to them getting overconfident here. Finally, they get themselves a bit of an advantage. They think they have an easy round, and just like that, Twist sends it in the other direction out of nowhere.
If that doesn't humble you, I don't know what does.
The Mousesports will not be playing like that again for the rest of this game. But Dennis is going to find himself a nice opportunity, spots Stanislaw up on top, and with either support or his own flashbang, completely blinding both the players in that alley. It's going to be an easy pickup for him to eliminate Stanislaw and once again give Mousesports the early 5v4 advantage. That could very quickly change, though, with JDM having this position on the arch side. We haven't seen as much arch side opping pressure from the CTs, so Mousesports may not ever really try to check towards this or pay too much mind to it, which means he could very easily get away with another free kill here. And he also has the support from Elige, too. A two-man setup over here, which could very easily punish Mousesports as they attempt to move their way in. JDM does miss the note a little bit there on Dennis. He tries to go out for just a second to peek in for intel. He will end up falling back. And now the rest of the team, once again, the good read on this one. Look, they're going up towards B, and there's only one guy there. So Nitro is going to be here to defend it with the secondary up. We will see how well he'll be able to hold off upon this one. As again, Mousesports are doing the same thing, just a really slow lurk up to the site, not giving away any intel whatsoever until just the last moment. So they give themselves the most amount of time before the rotates move in. Nitro tries to get tricky there by going for the jumping up shot. Not going to pay off, however, but JDM back into the fray through the smoke, steals the first kill against Lowell. A lot more fragging to go, however, as they've only just evened up the score, and the bomb now down on the ground, with Mousesports having full control over the site. They don't have an inside man this time, so they've got to try to work for this all together on the retake, and I think they're going to try to do this boost inside the smoke. See if they can spot anything over top of it, but no, immediately it gets denied by Chris J. Rops also picking up another kill against Twist. Now only 2 remaining for the CT side, and they have to bail out as they know they're not going to win this one. They still need an arsenal for the final round coming up after this one. Thankfully, they have the grace of the CT smoke still being set up, so they are going to be able to make it out. Actually, Nitro finds himself in a battle at the end of it, and he takes it, so Rops gets himself another kill. Now only Elige will stay alive in his attempt to make it out and stay safe to head into that 15th round. He's going to be chased down by 3 additional players from Mousesports. Takes the duel versus Oscar, loses it, and with that, no saves will be had for Team Liquid.
Yeah, that never works, by the way. Like, post-plant situation, trying to boost up on the CT spawn wall on the left, it never works.
They tried it earlier in the half, too. It didn't work out there either. They didn't immediately kill the guy boosted up, but they knocked him down to like 40 HP when he
was that when Elige was up there?
I think it was Elige or JDM.
No, it's good. It's good when you're up there and they're hitting the site, or if they're still crossing. But like post-plant, when people are emo, that's all they look at if CT spawn smoked. That's all people look. It's like the easiest kills. You should never try that. Like the success rate is just almost nothing. But yeah, you know, B retake. They do have construction control, but what was that, 4v4, and they still had a lot of smokes and whatnot. You're probably not going to win that round anyways. It's probably better to just save in that situation, to be honest, even though you do have 4 alive, and just play for that last round.
It was the same as round 13. They kind of just walked up to the site and then just popped a couple smokes in, so they can move in and get control. And again, like because they had the read on that situation, there's only 1 player to deal with, so it's a pretty easy clear. They don't have to use anything extra to get that guy out into the open. So last round here. And Liquid are actually going to get a pretty decent buy for just being broken out there. They managed to get at least the UP and the M1, M4 onto the table with Twist, who's been doing pretty respectable in this match so far. Elige on the UP. Now the only real negatives are Nitro and Stan down on those pistols there. But they've been able, as we saw, specifically with Twist, but the others have shown it as well, that they can still do some decent work with these pistols and try to at least pop up a few kills and then let the guys with the big guns do the rest of the work. But with time encroaching on the 40-second mark, Sports are going to get ready to go for a pretty straightforward execute onto A, more than likely. They already are trying to get control around arch side here, but Elige able to hold it, catches 1 player with the wrong gun in hand, does good damage to 2, but unfortunately is not able to eliminate either one. Nitro trying to change this, swings into the long haul. Well, he'll pick up the kill against Lowell, and now finds himself an upgrade. The rest of the team trying to push in. No one's paying mind to the site, so Stanislaw gets his 1 kill. He's done after that, and now Twist can jump into the fray as he picks up his kill from the balcony and promptly drops down into the pit. Rops, though, changes up his luck for his team, but Oscar is not going to be able to carry that through, so Rops is now alone with 8 seconds to plant to try and pull off a 1v2. He'll have to rush into this site and attempt to clutch it, but it's not going to happen. Twist will shut it down, and with that, it'll be 7-8. Team Liquid still lagging behind, but it's a close match. So second half is coming up, folks, in just a little bit.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Lenovo Legion, Xfinity, ESCA, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, Logitech G, and Zowie.
While Group B continues to be a close fight between multiple teams, as now Mousesports once again sit at an 8-7 scoreline advantage. This time, though, it's against Team Liquid, another North American team looking to claim their ranks in the global rankings here. So now it's time to jump into the second half with Mousesports going over to the CT side and Team Liquid going over to the T side. How do we see things playing out now with Team Liquid heading over onto the offense?
Well, on the bright side, Twist stepped up and was playing out of his mind.
I mean, just the one round, right?
No, but the pistol round as well. On the A site, he had multiple multi-frag rounds as, wow, just a B rush comes out, and they are getting destroyed by Mousesports early on.
JDM with the 2 trades back. It doesn't matter, though.
He just had 5B. Whoa, dude, Mousesports just knows. They just had 5. It was a 5v5 brawl at B. Liquid is like, what is going on?
Every call that's been made, Mousesports has just read into it perfectly. I think they've only went to the wrong site in terms of Liquid stacking 1 or 2 times out of 16 rounds that have now been played out. It's actually insane.
They just 5 rushed B versus 5 T rushing B.
I would love to see the actual stat for how many times, just today, that Mousesports have successfully chosen a site where there was 2 or less players in the site when they execute. Because they've been insane with their ability to pick that out. And so now that gives them the starting advantage for the CT side, and Team Liquid's going to try to force their way into the smoke. Christian's got a great spot that they're not going to look towards, but he can only get 1 kill. Lowo able to get 2 more. However, it's still opened up the site. They're going to be able to move in and try to get themselves a plant. Oscar looking to quickly try and hold this back off, but he won't be successful in it. He needs to wait for his teammates to rotate over. They're lagging behind a little bit, but if Liquid gets over-aggressive and tries to push into the church, well, he could start this shutdown pretty quickly. As he's still waiting in here, Lige, though, gets the better of him when Oscar finally does push out into the open. And now it's down to an even 2v2. Both the T's, however, are trying to go for a bit of a wrap play. They smoked out the church, and they're now trying to swing around the other direction. Is Mousesports going to be paying attention to this when they finally swing back out? Yep, they've got someone watching it. So there's Dennis with the first pickup. Now all that remains is Stanislaw, and he's struggling just to get that kill on Dennis here. We should easily... Actually, no, Volney's going to swing up here and tries to get it, but he runs out of ammo. However, Ropes jumped off the defuse, thinking that he was safe. He can sit back now and waste time. Ropes gets the kill, but it doesn't matter as he jumped off of his defuse and gave his opponents the round.
Wow, I wonder how close he was to defusing that bomb. It seemed like he was just maybe a second max away, right?
Yep. You can see it here. Runs out of ammo, and just as he runs out of ammo, Rops gives up on it, thinking that he maybe had 1 or 2 more bullets left in the chamber to be able to finish him off. Oh, that's a tad unfortunate, as now they're going to get traded, and Mousesports will have to go into a force buy to try to keep themselves in the lead for this match. No longer is it going to be that secure lead they gained over Optic at the beginning of the last map's second half. They had the same starting scoreline. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. It's Liquid. But nonetheless, they'll make their best attempt at it, as they've already met some contact across both sides of the map, actually. Chris J Should have been spotted by Nitro, I believe. Well, apparently he wasn't, and now he's going to realize a little bit too late. Stanislaw has already done the job for him as he kind of hops around here. Lowell takes an aggressive position, and even though he gets the 1 kill on Nitro, that'll also be traded back out. Just 2 remain for Mousesports, both of which are really not going to be in great spots to have any effectiveness here, so you should expect for Liquid to get their 2nd round in this half right here and be able to force Mousesports onto a save.
Yeah, just very aggressive at B. All 3 rounds now, really. I mean, yeah. I don't know if you can get more aggressive than rushing 5 down Banana as a CT. It's about as aggressive as you can get. And then, you know, the following 2 rounds as well, just playing around the half wall area, trying to contest that smoke area. So far not working out for Mousesports. We'll see. I mean, then again, the ump round, you know, a 2v3 post plan at B. I think I'd take that. That's not terrible by any means. You know, that's a round you should win as a CT.
But Oscar, having himself a position inside of the church, he may yet open up an opportunity to pick up at least 1 or 2 kills. They've got a pinch on Elige. Oh, nice shot from Oscar. There's a 1-tap Elige there in range. Finishes him off. Fortunately, there's only going to be a Mach 10 to scavenge out of that one. But with them going on to a full save, that's not going to be too big of a deal there. So we take another look at the situation as it unfolded here with the defuse. I think we actually got it from the perspective of Rops this time. So just how close was he?
Let's see. I'm gonna say a 2nd.
2. Oh my!
Oh, did he think he had it? Maybe?
God, that he might have actually, considering it was that close.
Like he might have thought like he was gonna defuse the bomb as he was doing that.
That was like 0.2 seconds or less. Well, Rops will have a chance to do some damage as we do jump into the next round here, as he does find Elige lurking inside of the apartments over there. And now, well, here's a right read from Mousesports again. If Liquid end up following through with this, they've got this 4-man stack, 2 boosted, one on first, 1 on second oranges, and then 2 more hiding inside of the little in-between areas. So let's see if this setup actually does any work. They have the 2 Mach 10s, but mind you, one of them is over on the A side currently, so only Oscar's going to be able to use his. And the rest are just working with like default pistols and stuff. They spot the first player here. Oscar is going to get pushed back down inside. Flashbangs are affecting both sides though, so no one can really take a battle currently. As they push in, Nitro apparently kills his teammate. Twist is also going to take down Oscar, and Twist almost kills another teammate right there. They still are able to clear out the site as Nitro drops in and eliminates Chris J. He'll also find another pickup against Dennis. So it just leaves Rops alive, trying to wrap back in. But look at how low he's got all 3 of these players. There's a very real chance for him to actually be able to clutch this out as he creeps back in, looking for a path up to the B-bomb site. One's going to be right in the open there. That's the first pickup. Only lost 12 HP from the duel. And the flash into Emo here. Let's see if he can finish them both off. Unfortunately, the flashbang ends up, I think, slightly behind the pillar, so neither member of Liquid gets hit by that. And off of that, they are able to clean up the 2v1 and claim a 10th round now against Mousesports.
So close to being just an eco upset there. Just a couple USP shots. I mean, almost no HP on anybody. You gotta think Mousesports is kind of kicking themselves over that. Definitely around they should probably be winning. Let's see if they continue with this B aggression though. Oh, so we see Liquid. So Nitro just smokes off the car area. So he's fine playing with that smoke. Maybe he gets boosted like he did before. Kind of one-ways it a little bit, I think.
Yeah, Stan coming up from behind, so he's like halting there though, so they're not moving in on it just yet. In the meantime, the other 2 went and just take usual halt control. Not too big of a task to gain there, but with free car area control, they more than likely they're going to end up working the rest of their players over towards B, as you can already see. Nitro having his corner spot and getting ready to deploy with the other 4. Big pressure about to work its way on a Chris J and Lowell. One of them does have a Molotov to try and toss back out here, but with Team Liquid being as quiet as they are, I don't know if they're going to have the timing to be able to toss that out yet. Chris J gets wrecked by a flashbang, so can't hold that one. Low picks up the first kill, does get greedy and going for a second, but JDM is actually going to kill his teammate on the way in here, eliminating Stanislaw with a headshot. Now Chris J trying to delay, but the nade is going to send him flying as it eliminates him. However, they now have the man advantage, and both Elige and Twist are so low. I don't even know if they're going to be able to get the plant now, despite them having site control. Twist will make his best bet at it, has picked up 1 kill, and now moves in. Retrieve the bomb and attempt to set himself up for the clutch. The plant is actually not going to go for it just yet. Tries to fake it out to line up a few headshots. He gets them both lined up, but is only able to get 1 more before Rops moves in and shuts it down for Mousesports, tying us up at 10-10.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Liquid, though, that's a good round. Like, you lost, but you stopped them from having anybody alive besides one player. You have a lot of money. You're going to be able to buy here, and I think you have a lot of money. Actually, they don't have that much. I thought they'd have a lot more money than that.
No.
But I would assume they buy here. They're going to have a couple AKs.
Twist has 8Ks. We can,
yeah.
He can draw. Nitro can probably draw.
Yeah, they should have 3 AKs, 2 Tech 9s. So still a pretty decent buy.
Team Liquid decided to take a tactical here, though, so they've used their second now in this match. 2 remaining throughout the half. And with things remaining close, it might end up being likely that they use the other 2. Both teams bought back into it, though. Mousesports, of course, not going to be unaffected by the fact that they got brought down as low as they did. As you can see, they're on 3 umps for this round. But their utility is going to be great. So is Team Liquid, though. Both teams end up with a pretty even buy at the end of the day, as it means breaking time for both these teams should they lose it. But Rops is going to get aggressive. In fact, 2 players get aggressive, and a great flashbang down alt mid allows for Rops to pick up both of those kills. Immediately, they get themselves a 5v3 advantage. This aggression, though, has now curtailed Team Liquid into throwing all their players over towards B, where only Oscar is here to defend. He instantly headshots one player with the UMP, though, before falling back behind the CT smoke. Stanislaw is now dead, so everything falls to Nitro and JDM, and Nitro almost gets eliminated on the CT cross. Great fire coming in from Mousesports, and even though they're probably going to let Liquid get away with the plant, they can still easily shut this down on a retake. Liquid just prioritizes that plant for the reasons that they're going to be retook upon in a moment here. And Oscar moving in, gets his second on the round. Just 1 to go. Nitro tries to get an extra kill by lining up a headshot angle, but it can't be done. And there you have it. Mousesports with no deaths on that round at all will shoot up to 11.
Yeah, they just sent Oscar B by himself, an ump, maybe like an HE grenade or something on him. He plays it super good in that 3v5, though. Immediately realizes, like, hey, I don't really need to challenge. I just need to maintain control. You know, he gets a really nice... That shot was ridiculous, by the way, on that first guy coming into the site. And then, of course, Rops just setting up the round by that quick alt mid push. You know, Liquid not ready for it at all. Goes into an immediate 3v5. But Oscar, that was really well played by him as well. Got to give him props for how he played in the retake. Got the first kill, did a bunch of damage on them crossing as well, and maintained construction control.
Yep. So Oscar making sure that things don't get too out of hand on that site after the other players towards A got aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way you lose that round is if Oscar, you know, takes ill-advised peeks, fights too much, dies, they give up the site in the 2v4 and give up construction control.
This time, though, Mousesports shutting things down relatively quickly. Already 2 kills in their favor. There's a 3-man hold. They're taking all 3 of these guys and trying to eliminate Nitro, as that definitely takes a few extra seconds. But with the bomb still being down halfway on alt mid, Rops just takes this duel. He goes 1 for 1, which is now given a leisure rifle. But like I said, the bomb is nowhere even close to him. He's probably just going to move out, try to take this battle, get maybe 1 more kill. But not going to happen. Dennis will shut him out. And that's now a 2-round advantage to Mousesports here. And again, they only lose 1 player, so this is great. It's given them a lot of extra cash in the event they lose the next gun round.
I'm surprised they didn't buy an op for Oscar there off that death. Just sticking with that 5 rifle setup. JDM gets an op on his T side though. Not playing well though. He had a really good day yesterday, but today struggling a little bit. 7 and 16 right now, and Nitro 7 and 14.
So once again, Team Liquid spreading their players out across the map here. Gonna have to be very cautious. I'm imagining overall Liquid's probably going to play these rounds a lot slower because of how successful aggression has been for the most part from Mousesports. And here's a great example of that with Rops. I mean, that spray through the wall, it almost hit Twist. We've seen that work out pretty well for people before. Started seeing that a lot more commonly a few weeks ago. But now the rest of Liquid's going to start to move in. Rops does finally get a kill on Twist, so when he goes in for the long haul push. The main pushing force from Liquid, though, is going to be coming over here on Porch side, as he's already claimed a trade, eliminating Oscar. So much damage was taken by Liquid in trying to move in and take this control, though. They've got 3 players that are almost one-shottable now.
Did you see how much damage Oscar's nade did? I don't know if he even shot any bullets. I'm not sure. He must have, because JDM killed him. My God.
So all 3 of these players are going to be extremely fragile. And as a result of that, Elige now going to have to take charge. But even he's been hit. He's lost 1/3 of his health pool already. So Liquid has to be very careful, and they're actually taking a page out of Mousesports' book here, just basically creeping up to the B-bomb site and delaying them making any noise for as long as humanly possible until they're right up on the site. They also don't have any utility for this execute now, so they have to somehow, with this low HP, walk in, take out 2. It's going to be 3 players in a second on this site. Actually, excuse me, it's only 1 player here, but regardless, Chris J gets himself the nice double. Stanislaw and Elige both getting eliminated, and with the rotate from Lowell, that's going to be 1 more knocked off. It's just down to Nitro, who's going to prioritize the plant over everything else here. At the very least, try to get his team the extra money, but he cancels it, trying to go for a kill, and that will be his ultimate downfall. Lowell taking him out. Mousesports up to 13, and I believe the last pause from Liquid is going to be used, or one of the last pauses.
Up to 13, and just a bunch of money on their side. And Liquid with 3K apiece. So it's looking really good for Mousesports right now. 2 of the big changes at this B site, as a CT though, you can't hide at first oranges like that. The player in pool just kills you every single time. Like, they just see your arm. It's, you know, like 18 damage a shot or something with an AK. So anytime you hide like that, if you're Chris J, you just die from that player in pool. Obviously, he did his job already. He got 2 kills. The rotate came. Really easy cleanup for his teammates. And then the other one that we saw earlier come into play is when you're on Spindle. On the old Inferno, you used to be able to jump up from Spindle, and they couldn't see you from anywhere like towards Banana or where those sandbags are at, except for like a tiny piece of your arm, right? Like literally like almost nothing. So you'd be able to jump up from Spindle and kill anybody pushing the site towards like first oranges. Now you can't really do that anymore either. So I saw both of those big changes come into play.
Liquid, again, just getting destroyed by nades at the beginning of this round as the CTs double nade it. That's Chris J and Lowell doing that work. Liquid going to try something a little bit more interesting, though, as they go through their own CT smoke and try to wrap around to get guarding control before the other players try to push in, and they're definitely caught off guard by that. Lowell only getting 1 before going down, and the same story for Chris J. 3v3 is the way that this post plant's going to pay out, with now Stan and JDM both picking up rifles. JDM, if he could, I imagine, is going to want to toss it over to Elige. Yeah, there we go.
2 HE grenades, 2 Molotovs on Oscar and Rops.
So 1 Molly into Emo can completely kill this post-plant hold, essentially. As 1 is going to work its way over to New Box. That's where Stan's going to get pushed out. And there you go. The entire defense falls apart from Team Liquid in just a matter of seconds. Not even a chance given to them because of that utility. So Mousesports will be able to push up to 14.
Yeah, huge nade damage, making that possible as well. The start of the round towards B with Lowell and Chris J.
We're going to take a better third-person look at the nades getting tossed in here now. As you can see, 1, 2, both of them right in the middle of the main group of 3 in the back there. So giving Liquid no chance right from the start of it. Even though they only trade 1 for 1, it makes the utility cleanup at the end of the round even easier for Mousesports to do. And now, because they have all of this cash, they're going to end up just going straight for the double op buy now. And it still leaves them with even 10K, I think 1 or 2 players still has in the post buy. JDM tries to test his luck on an aggressive peek. Not going to pan out. Chris J immediately shutting that one down.
That's just like a bad peek, though. I mean, he didn't peek that like good at all.
I just went for it.
And almost every opera there plays in an off. That was a good peek. Almost every opera there plays on an off angle as well, where they don't play at that corner like pixel peeking. They usually play a little bit to the left. You saw a little bit of that with Chris J. Usually a lot of times if you watch Fallen, he's even more to the left there. Just not a good way to challenge that player at all by JDM.
The nice double peek over at long haul, though, it does secure them the 1-for-1, so they're going to be down at a 4v4. And off of that kill, Mousesports actually rotated their extra B player over towards A, so Lowell's going to be in this site, which means you only have Chris J to defend it, who at most I'm thinking is going to get really just... Yeah, he's not even actually going to get anything now unless he takes a risk on it. And yeah, he tries to fight. Expect him to fall back since we've seen pretty passive play for the most part from Mouse, although there's a good trade from Lowell, but an even better shot from Elige up on top. He can just barely see over the smoke. And with that, picks up the kill on Lowell, so it'll be a 2v3 retake. Rop still has plenty of utility, though. He's got the extra smoke to use and the molly and an HE grenade, so this is a lot that he could try to do damage with on the retake. Unfortunately, because they only had Chris J in the site, they're not going to have guaranteed intel about where these guys have gone in the post plan. They just have to make their best guess about things. Molly against Dennis will delay the retake even further now, and Rops is basically just waiting for the signal to move into the site. As the smoke has finally started to move away, he goes in, takes the first duel successfully against Twist, evening it out into a 2v2. Elige has this crossfire against Rops, but he's going to check for it. Doesn't matter, though. Elige comes out on top and transfers the spray through the smoke. Nicely done from Elige as he cleans it up for Liquid and keeps them in the match.
That was sick by Elige. That was really sick. That spray transfer into the smoke was very nicely done.
So putting things up to 14-11. As I mentioned a couple rounds back, though, Mousesports still had plenty of cash flow to work with, so full rebuy is not going to be a problem for them at all. But also up to full strength here. So this is pretty much the telling point for both these teams. Even though Mousesports had a decent amount of cash, they are going to have to start making sacrifices in the next round. That's where Liquid could gain their comeback and potentially tie this up at 14 to wall. But Mousesports shutting this one down. The reset against Liquid would be brutal, to say the least. Would all but secure the map for Mousesports. There's a double molly down banana here, so they'll be able to read the fact that there are two players. Nitro gets his advanced position on half, although, and double kills after Chris J steals his opponent. Oscar, full blind though, moves out. He might have spotted Nitro just before he got hit by the flash, and he uses that to eliminate him and keep things even into a 3-on-3. And that's going to send Liquid hurling in the other direction towards A, as they'll try to make a take here instead. So plenty of time to play with all this action happening just in the first 30 seconds of the round, though. So they'll be able to play this nice and slowly, as if they still had the full 5-man firepower of their full roster. But they'll split up those three guys, two going over towards Rap, and Elige is going to continue forward through the long haul to try to get himself out onto Bauk. Unfortunately, he's smoked off, but that should be fading relatively soon. Rob's catching the first kill. An attempted trade from JDM misses, and the bomb is now down. So the B player is going to rotate in. Elige with the drop down moves in, eliminates Rops and Dennis. Nice pickups from him, and now everything falls to Oscar. Is he going to have to try and 1v2 this? Smoked off. He's got an AK on the ground if he wants to use that, but it looks like he's going to be sticking with the op for right now. So he'll slowly creep back in the other direction, over here towards the porch side. See in a second if he's actually going to go for this, or if he's just going to head out mid and save. It's looking like he may go back in, although taking a different route as he heads into the apartments. And yeah, now seems to be sort of bypassing things with time getting too low. More than likely, we'll just be posting up to try and kill one or two players moving out through the apartments now. He'll let Liquid get this round and go up to 12, just trying to maximize the damage so they can try to fully reset them.
Yeah, and they have a little bit of money here. They can get a double op setup if they want. You know, Oscar could drop one for Chris J. He could buy his own. They'll probably have to roll with maybe 2 umps this round, or at least 1 ump. But they should be buying it. This second kill by Elige was ridiculous, by the way. That was sick. Dennis there, all he has to do is just kind of make sure he does get that one frag. I think after Elige gets that position in pit, maybe he needs to fall back, maybe just hide in sight there, and just guarantee himself that one frag.
Well, Oscar's going to take himself a nice close-up to one, spots the entire push moving into. Mousesports completely destroyed Team Liquid here. All 4 players on the push get dominated. Now it's just Nitro alive at Boiler.
Yeah, he made up for it. He made up for that mistaken say. Definitely made up for it.
Yeah, him and Oscar just easily shutting things down there, not giving any room at all.
Liquid just runs through a Molotov to try to get that trade kill. Dennis is absolutely ready for that. You know, Oscar takes that one shot, he has a molly ready to save him, and then they just run through a Molotov into his crosshair. And what are you going to do? Are you just going to stop in the Molotov while you fight him? You're going to keep, like, he's just holding mouse 1. Just easy kills.
Well, Nitro trying his best to clutch that one out, but it's not going to happen. And so Mousesports are going to follow through, getting themselves to 15 to 12. Closing out there. We'll get a nice replay from Dennis's perspective this time, too, as he gets a beautiful spray. Kills 3 players in 1 clip.
Yeah, and that's just a really early round mid-walk, and that's actually a direct counter to it, is what Oscar did. We saw JDM did that, but he peeked all the way towards the T-steps. I don't know if Oscar would have peeked directly towards the T-steps if he didn't see somebody at bench. Probably not. Usually when you peek from that left side, you peek around that bench area, maybe towards the, you know, like you stop right before that mini pit area, and then it's just a direct counter to anybody doing a mid-walk, and he just picks the perfect time to do it. They haven't been opping too much on the CT side. You know, they brought it out later on in this half, but they've had opportunities to earlier on, opted for 5 rifles, so maybe Liquid just not, you know, too ready for it. And now they do have the double op setup, 3 rifles, pretty much full utility, and Liquid on a really bad force buy. I mean, they just have a couple umps, a couple Tech 9s, and Twist is fully bought, but that's it with AK and nades.
So moving into this next round here, Liquid unfortunately going to have to try their best to work with it. They did just take their last pause in case you missed that on the screen. So hopefully developing some kind of strat for this round, but even so, with the limited amount of arsenal they actually bring to the table, things are going to be a little bit rough for them to actually make anything work out. They're prioritizing Hall's control early on in the round, so may try to swing this towards A. However, this could be a little bit different of a flavor in terms of what we've been seeing from Liquid throughout most of the rest of this half so far.
Mousesports is so ready for this.
Yeah, Dennis fully paying attention to it. Normally they've had the stack over towards Porch, but right now, Dennis even just having the molly ready to go to delay that if necessary, or completely kill them if he catches them in the middle of it. And yep, he spots the play, flashed out, but it doesn't matter. He's got his lock on the position, is able to steal one, goes down after that. Rop stealing two more, just seconds later, and even gets the third on the Stanislaw. That's the hit, dead on the ground. Nitro is going to try to lurk out as the last man standing. He at the very least trades on the Rops, but he's got so much more work to do. Not dead yet, though. He's picked up 2 kills, spots himself a third just outside of the library, and having to pay attention for the 5th and final player. Slowly trying to wrap around him. In fact, he almost reads into that wrap too from low. He's checking his backside. As Level, he's taking the longer path to go out around through the T steps to try and flank him through long haul. That'll come down really to the timing of it, if Nitro is going to be able to properly counter that or not. But after not spotting anything here, he finally decides to dive into the site to focus on trying to get that bomb onto the ground. 27 seconds left. This is actually quite a bit of time. Judging from his current position, he'll safely just smoke back off the other path so he can fully secure this plant without any risk of him being shot down in the process. Now down on the ground, and he'll take a little bit of an aggressive stride, which may work out moving in. Chris J ready for this one, though, and he scopes in to shut it down, eliminating Nitro. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Mousesports are going to be taking control of yet another game. They'll push up to 16-12, putting them in a 3-1 position overall in their group.
I mean, just great reads from Mousesports, especially at the end of that half. I mean, understanding that, hey, Oscar could watch all the middle. You know, he's opping it from Art's side. They come out Boiler, he'll spot him at the very least. They're basically doubled up watching halls there. I mean, Dennis probably would have gotten a 3K himself had he just held Mouse 1 instead of ducking after he got blind. And then Rops, of course, with that great side hold, and they played the 2v1 really well as well. I mean, Mousesports they just have the reads. Like they've been one step ahead both these games that we've seen them right now. Just absolutely more like 3 steps ahead.
That's put them into a great position in their group right now. They're sitting just behind North with a 3-1 scoreline. I think North won their other match on the off stream, so they're sitting at a 4-0 position right now. I think they're almost like 90% secured at this point to move on to the playoff stages, so they're looking good. And with that victory, Mousesports is looking really good as well. But with that said, I believe we do have the analysts ready, so let's send it over to them to break down this match.
Yes, welcome back to the Xfinity Analyst Desk. Mousesports, another impressive showing. They've knocked down both North American opposition that they've faced, Optic first and now Liquid. Close fashion there towards the end, but Liquid just falls short. Talked about some of the ways that Oppers could really struggle on this map. We saw JDM have his own struggles. Oscar, though, seemed to be able to pull things off pretty nicely.
That combat opening I was talking about, you know, he can be a lot more versatile with it. The big player for me who showed up, who hadn't so far this tournament, was Twists. He had a great game. You know, he was really effective, and then Stan as well. And the rest of the team for Liquid weren't really up to par with those guys, but, you know, they had some really good performances, the two of them. And then on Mousesports, a couple of mistakes. The game could have been over a lot quicker if they hadn't made those mistakes, right? Obviously, that Rops defuse was a bit of a blunder. There was a couple of other ones like
the twist. What did the 3K or the 3-man CT spawn push 5 seconds after planting the bomb?
Doesn't make much sense, does it?
Yeah, no, it really
well, I mean,
didn't.
Those are the glaring ones, right? But we saw. I know we were talking over some of those rounds. One of those retakes that Mouse had towards the B bomb site, where it was what, a 4-on-4 at one point. Chris J makes a peek around a smoke and he dies. And if he just stays alive there, then they essentially have like a 4-on-3 retake because you know his teammate had gotten a kill. So
yeah, to build on that, even if Lau hadn't gotten a kill and he just stayed alive and held control of Ruins, right? The rest of your teammates would have come for a retake, and it's a 4v4 where they're trapped in the bomb site, right? You have Ruins control, which is one of the hardest parts to get when going for a B retake. So what's the issue? He could have just stayed alive. He didn't really need to make a play. That was an issue that they had, but they still were able to close out the game relatively convincingly.
Yeah,
so.
And especially I think just to add to that, the fact that Mousesports actually did a pretty good job for the better part whenever they were rotating in towards any given bomb site. They had done a pretty good job of actually keeping on to their utility. So you'd see that whenever they tried to do B retakes, they would all just have some sort of utility, whether it be Molotovs or nades or smokes, really, to just kind of narrow down the space that Liquid could actually use for those bomb takes. So if you're already cut off the entire Ruins part, you know that you're going to have 4 Liquid players boxed in a very, very tight space.
Right. Well, while we're bringing up some of the mistakes that we saw, we actually have the blunder from Rops on the defuse. So we can bring that up if you guys want to talk us through this one.
I mean, it's kind of funny because we talked about how he is so composure for being a player. Now, this is a 2v2 situation. He's going to get, obviously, Dennis here to help him out. Dennis does lose out the battle to Stanislaw. And the thing is, Stanislaw at this point runs out. And I think he's already getting shot at, and he's already committed like for 1.5 seconds with getting shot at. Because either you have to make the choice that the second Dennis dies, you need to get off that bomb and try to find Stanislaw, because Stanislaw has to get aggressive to actually see what's going on with the diffuser. or you have to fully commit to the bomb defuse.
Is that just an experience, Chad?
I guess because like
Heat of the
like
moment, heat of the moment thing. It's just like it's a split-second decision that's extremely hard to make. Like you could find extremely experienced players who still make that mistake.
Yeah, I don't know if you can. I don't know in that scenario.
NBK probably wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe not. But if he just sat the defuse and died, he would have lost the round. If he got off the bomb like he didn't have enough time to redefuse, so he would have lost. So he should have.
There is only one right answer, but I'm just saying, like, you will find players who still make that mistake because you know sometimes you just have a brain fart and you just do something instinctively instead of obviously doing the well-thought thing.
Yeah. Something that Daves was just touching on there was about the reads that they had, right? We saw that pistol round in the second half where it was all 10 players.
Yeah, that was
wasn't century.
In the first half, Mouse had these, like, when they decided to either do fakes, it worked perfectly. It pulled all the Liquid players, or on the anti-ecos, they were always going to the bomb site where there weren't any Liquid players, right? It was great to see.
Yeah, I think it's also pretty cool. This is something Mousesports, the older iterations that the team did on more so than other teams on CT sides. Like on Mirage, for instance, they would actually play aggressively towards middle. Here we actually saw something that I at least haven't seen a lot, at least throughout the regular season in Pro League in NA. CT sides being aggressive towards A. Normally you have that constant battle in Banana, just fighting for control. Sometimes CTs will play aggressively with the deep smokes and so on. We actually saw Mousesports push down in towards second mid, with actually manpower, not just one guy going off on a bit of a rogue mission. And that's I like seeing that kind of stuff. It throws a spanner into the works. They get 2 easy kills off of it, already cut off half the map from Liquid's side. So at that point, you're leaving your T's in distress. They have no idea what to do. They kind of have to scramble, and obviously it becomes a much easier round for you to win as a CT.
Well, we checked out the little mistake from the young gun over on Mousesports. Now this is a cool play. Twist finally showed up. You mentioned Chad.
Yeah.
This is his CZ round. Now this is also a blunder from Mousesports, but amazing to capitalize on it. Yeah.
Well, the fact that he hits those shots, right? Like the double that he gets there is very lucky, but then that third one is the real icing on the cake, right? Yeah, and it's good because that's the pure skill that this guy has. We were talking about. And then to find that last one, getting the defuse, pretty nice.
We're all just asking the question, like, why have they pushed out with so much time left in the bomb timer? And that's when Yanko just looks up and he's like, "Welcome to Mousesports."
Yeah.
He's had a good time with that, so he enjoyed that very much.
Lucky the mistake didn't cost him in the end. Those kind of issues.
Very well could have.
If you look back at that and go, "God damn, we lost the game because of that."
Had it been old Mousesports, they would have lost this game.
Yeah,
because of that.
Just to quickly touch a little bit more on Liquid before we get off it completely is like I really like that pop flash that the mid wall retake, right? Inferno is a map where it feels like it's taking teams a long time to transition to go for the mid wall retake again. And what I mean by that is I like a transitional defense on this map. I think the CTs can sit posturing on quad side and arch side and jiggle peeking, and then once they feel the pressure, obviously drop back. If utility comes in, you have to make a decision to fall back into a safer play. But in the old meta of Inferno, it was like pop flash top mid and take it as the tees. If teams want to do that, and we saw it happen with Stan throwing a really amazing pop flash and his arch player push through the smoke, you can blind up the whole team, take a fight, and get some really efficient trades and crossfires there. And I want to see that come back into the meta a bit more because I think it's very effective for the CTs, other than sitting in the site and pit. Yeah,
that was a very, very cool defense that they mounted that round. On the other stream, on the B stream, we had North taking on Optic Gaming. It was a 16-14 victory for North, and with that win, they have secured the first seed in this Group B. They will be moving directly on to the semifinals once we get into the playoffs in Dallas, Texas this weekend. So congratulations to North. We're going to be heading to a break. When we come back, we're going to be having Optic versus Na'Vi. That's going to be the match we'll be featuring. There's going to be 2 more playing alongside it on the other streams. But for now, we'll see you soon.